everyone. Happy 2023. Happy June 2023. So this is just an intro to the monthlies, just to let you know that I'm back to work again, although I never really stopped working, but I'm back to work on YouTube. And if you wanted to book a reading, all my information is in the description box below the video, where there is a link to the website. And just to remind you, the name of the channel will be changing soon, so I'll be putting the old name in brackets. And but I don't know if I'm doing it yet, but it'll happen at some point. And then what else do I need to say? If you do want to book, please look at the website and read the booking instructions, just to make everything easier, so we don't have to go back and forth with emails. Because I don't like to be in my ego, having to think about things. I like to be let go. That's it. All right. Have a lovely month. I hope the monthlies help you out. Lots of love. Bye. Oh, June 2023. Leo. I can see a really long road. It's quite a wide road. And appears to be a rabbit's face. Hopping along the road, maybe that means a rabbit's face. Like a childhood toy. Good luck. Rabbits are good luck, right? Rabbit's foot. Oh, it's also like when you go travelling, you take a rabbit's foot. So, good luck on the road, they just said. Is there such a thing as luck? This is the eternal question, right? Because there's fate and there's destiny. Luck, does that come into it? Is that what we're talking about here? No, we're looking at Leo. Okay, I've got a squirrel. The squirrel hide their nuts for the winter, right? So it's something about squirreling something away, in terms of putting something away for a rainy day. They just said it's a long road you're going on. I need to get some cards out on this. I think then they showed me the Page of Swords. I feel like you're going to get a message then about going somewhere. A message about some kind of life change and taking a new road. It's going to lead to rewards. That's where they're talking about luck. So they mean rewards. And also that it's going to allow you to put something away for a rainy day. So maybe some of you are getting a new job. Maybe some of you are changing location, which will be fruitious to you. Maybe some of you are making some other kind of life change that is going to allow you to change your circumstances, they're saying. So that's what we've got coming in straight away for Leo. I've also got like really strongly coming in now this energy of like the hippie traveller, like in a motorhome, flying a flag of freedom, letting their freak flag fly. They're saying be proud to be you and let your freak flag fly, basically, and allow yourself to be carried along by the wind. So just go where they just said go where the money flows. So maybe some of you are getting an offer or something that is, you've been deliberating on, and whatever it is, it's going to be really fruitious for you. Fruitious is another word beginning with F. I can't quite get it. Fortuitous for you. So that is luck, right? Fortuity is luck. Then it's talking about gambling, gambler aware, not beware, aware. So it's kind of like, it's a gamble that's going to pay off. So it's like something maybe that you've had that's come to you that like, I don't know if I should do that or not. They're saying go where the money goes, it'll pay off, it's going to be fortuitous, it's a good event coming along, let you fly the flag of freedom, get going along the road. Rabbits out of hats, that would be what the bunny was about as well. And that you'll be able to squirrel away something for later on. All right, let's have a look. Two of Swords. So we've got the head blocking the heart, basically. So maybe you've been talking yourself out of making this, going with the flow somehow. Always go with the flow, because the flow knows more than the ego. Because the flow is the eternal everything. The flow will take you where you need to go without you having to think about anything. You just do what feels right. Just simply follow your heart. The world, this is like expansiveness. This is the open road. This is freedom. This is like, and this, it's also the card of like anything's possible, because it's not an eventuality that's set in stone. This is just like the freedom to like coexist with your vibrational self in what is like purely an illusion of physicality, of which anything can come. It's practically the vibrational storm of, the vibrational vortex where everything's contained. It's openness. It's the open road, but it's open-ended. It's like anything can come. So when you block the heart and you don't go with the flow, you just block what can come out of the blue. When you follow the flow and you just like, you drop it all and you go along with whatever it is your heart is saying, just do it. Just do it. Then you can bring along anything from that. Not, you can't see it out there already because it's vibrational based. As you move along in the flow, you bring it along. And as you move along with an open heart, and without kind of talking yourself out of your dreams or any of that nonsense that people are told they have to do, that hard edge, like, oh, this is a firm reality we live in and you'll never get anything from that and you've got to do that and you've got to do that job forever and, you can't have any fun. Maybe this is something that is just going to break free, because it does feel like these crosses blocking, crossing your heart, I should say, that you're just going to push through them like a barraging vehicle going down a road and just push through and start charging down this road of freedom on your own, creating your own path as you go along, they're saying, coming along things as you would drive by the road. Who knows what could be along that road? What signposts, other signposts leading to other places, what people that you might pick up and take for a journey, what diners you might stop at and have a meal and get chatting and find out something you didn't know before. And all this, like, they're saying this beautiful landscape is in front of you of, just like, it's not choices exactly, because you go with the flow, you're not making choices, but it's like opportunities and it's revelations. So it's, like conversations can be revelations. And you find out something, just a perspective or a point of view, or a little piece of information or a little slice of someone's experience. And this is so much more meaningful than a life that's what is a life well lived, right? It's like when you're always like, when it's like you're always like excited or interested, or something is coming in that's like new and different, and you had to think of yourself because it's coming from out of there, where it's just an experience, where it's like the whole experience of consciousness of experience, And that's a life well lived, they say, and it's like a bucket list, but it's more than a list of 10. It's like just everything and things you didn't know were on there. And it's like, instead of where you could just sit maybe behind a desk and like wish your life away, as in, I wished I'd done that and I wished I'd done that. So, Queen of Wands, and they've got created through vibration as well, vibration of the feminine. So feminines watching this, always the feminines. I feel it's a road trip for you. This is also Leo feminine, the Queen of Wands. So, and it's turning away from some kind of old way of life and it's entering into a new life. I mean, maybe some of you won't even leave where you are. You'll just go on a flight of fancy. Maybe you'll start going online and looking at websites and reading things and exploring the world that way and looking at pictures. And, it could be that. I think it could be that as well. It could be like opening up to new experiences through meeting other people that you've never met before. Maybe in online chat rooms where they talk about their experiences. But there's something opening up here that is about you just leaving behind the small, what you've already known, and opening up into more of what you don't know already. And very much about connected to other people as well. And other people, just not in a like hard line, you have to think what they think, but in a really soft, like blurry edged kind of, that's what they think, isn't that interesting? But you are being allowed and allowing yourself to like, just have that come in and just hear it. Not necessarily form an opinion or a judgment about it, but just allow it to be, and we've got separation in the Five of Pentacles, so that's what you've been separated from, right? So the head always separates the heart from love, basically. So it's like the Five of Pentacles is like physically being confined in a small space, where you're not expanding through the heart or the mind, where it's all like very negative scenario, where it's a very can't do scenario, or shouldn't do, or mustn't do, a very like should stay the same, have to think small, have to be like everybody else, a very kind of like, oh, it's always going to be like this, it's never going to work out for me kind of mind frame, and therefore physical existence represents that mind frame. It's like looking out the window and seeing like a really ugly building outside your window and saying, well, that building's always going to be there, it's always going to look like that. And that thought allows that building to remain. Whereas if you looked out the window and you were like, well, one day they're going to knock that down, there's going to be a beautiful park, and I can see it already in my head, and there's butterflies and there's trees and there's children flying kites, then that's what you bring along. So it's like something here about releasing yourself from a perspective of minimization into a perspective of maximization. So could be in the head, this road trip, right? And it could be that's a road trip. So looking out the window and seeing a change in front of your eyes before you've seen the change in the reality, that's a trip, right? So I wonder why they called it, when they did all the LSD in the 60s, a trip. Because people go on a journey, I suppose. And maybe that's why they show me all like the hippie kind of, road trip, and like losing yourself almost in this headspace of like emptiness and therefore infinite possibility. Tower, change and breaking free, basically, and a complete crashing down of the matrix. So it's like just everything crumbling away into nothingness, basically. So changing your external life through your internal life changing, and through your allowance to like maybe believe in the impossible dream, something like that, that anything's possible, and taking that belief on board, because that is an opening up. Because often the mind will just cross the heart with nothing's possible, nothing can change, this is always going to be like this, this is just how it's always been. And it will, and that's what they call blocking the heart, because it's what the mind does. So maybe like just a breaking free of that impossibility that the mind creates through blocking the sense of freedom that the heart, and the heart can bring anything, like they say, it's the flow, it's being in the flow that will bring anything to you that is beyond what seems possible through the egoic understanding, and the ego knows nothing, as we know. Five of Cups, so what lies behind there is the love that couldn't be found, was found and lost, the impossible dream, basically. It's like something that you had, like holding a butterfly in your hand and just about to like close your hand on the butterfly and it flies away. And you're like, oh my God, that's it. It's gone. It's never coming back. I'm like, that's it. That's the end of everything, right? So here we've got separation and we've got this impossible dream. So it's like something that you feel like couldn't come back. And it's something that you feel is lost forever, and it's something that you feel that you can't get hold of again, and it feels like it's blocked you. So it's made you go into a mind frame of nothing's possible. Because I lost this thing once, and that's how it's always been for me, and it will be like that forever because that happened, nothing else can ever happen that's good. So it feels like you're somehow breaking free of that whole perspective on life, vibrational here, you create through your vibration. This isn't meant to be energy, because vibration's deciding, that's what destiny is. Vibration is deciding your perspective has to end. So, guided to come out of ego, the long night of the, long dark night of the soul, the spiritual awakening, the being brought out of ego. And then we got Four of Swords, no mind. So this is just about resting the mind. It's about not thinking. I mean, the higher understanding of that is actual meditation, but that can also be incantation. So chanting something repetitively that stops you from thinking any kind of thought. So there is a work here, it feels, in you, maybe assisting vibration by going into a state of no mind. Also focusing on the now, but really to focus on the now and get the full understanding of how to do that in a conscious state means understanding how to get out of your head through meditation. So basically the now moment is getting out of your head. And again, that's just reverberating with this whole like hippie, under, you know, what the hippies did in the 60s, which was getting out of their heads and stop being connected to the mainstream, and the changes that were brought in the 60s through that change in mentality, you know. We could say burning of bras, things like that. I'm just saying that because I absolutely, really, really detest wearing a bra. Right. So Four of Swords. I should love it all, right? But it's very uncomfortable. So Four of Swords is going into a state of no mind, freeing the mind. Heart, King of Cups. So it's connecting back into the heart, mastery of the heart. Mastery of the heart is simply not thinking and going with the flow, because you stop being an ego and you get into the heart. So, and you let go when you get into the heart, and everything is exactly as it's meant to be. And from that infinite nothingness, expansion comes. So you just expand more into things that you love instead of being constricted by things that you don't love. That's when the building outside, the window falls down and the beautiful park appears out of nowhere. And you get a leaflet through the door. Oh, we're knocking down the building opposite you and we're going to build a park. You know, things like that comes out of the blue through expansion of the heart, expansion of the feeling good, stopping wearing a bra. And then we've got the Fool, which is a brand new journey here, 0 point, exactly. So heart, head, the crashing down of the matrix, the leaving the mainstream thought patterns, the connected consciousness, thought consciousness, you know, the herd mentality, leaving that and a brand new journey of your own, it feels here, which is 0 point. Nothingness is 0 point. So expansion is 0 point. It's letting it all go. It's letting it all hang out, they just said. Again, we're referring back to the bra. So or whatever else it is you're taking off. So that's it for you this month. What's underneath? Wisdom, basically. So it's a new thought perspective. It's a new journey in thought. They just showed me Aquarian energy. Who are we reading for? Leo. It's really mental energy for you this month. It's really expansive exploration, mental energy, like Aquarian energy. You know, the genius, the creator, the inventor, the using the mind to explore possibilities and impossibilities and to set yourself free, basically. And, you know, so you can use your mind to set yourself free, because meditation is using the mind. It's doing nothing with the mind. That's using the mind. It's just using it in a different way. It's power over the mind, right? Which is wisdom over the mind. And not everything can be found in kind of outside of self, you know. There is what am I trying to say here? It's like wisdom is internal. It comes through many points externally, but it's not just one thing. That's what I'm trying to say. So no external work on spirituality can contain everything that is true to you. You know, it's just like you go through life and you take a little bit of this and a little bit of that and a little bit of this, and just little small slices of other people's experience that enlighten you. And in that enlightenment is growth. So your own brain will expand in its own way, and it's like a connection of the dots, and then you start to bring in more from higher consciousness, not thought consciousness. And that your own higher consciousness will bring in other understandings and other wisdoms, and you will increase in wisdom. And it's all going to bring in a higher understanding of who you are and what you're also not, and the fact that you are not just human, and therefore you are not just an ego, and you are not just thinking, and you are so much more than that. And from the understanding that you are so much more than that comes a possibility of so much more than the ego can ever offer. And that's basically where you're at here. So that's what I've got for you this month of June. And if you want anything that they, then if you want to look at it in a very matter of fact, down to earth way, you're looking at creating through vibration, collapsing down, meditation. So get out of your head and believe anything is possible here, and understand that you've got a new journey coming up that's devoid of ego, which is very much just your own journey going with the flow. And this is an opening up of coming into mastery of the heart, which means going with the flow and operating from the heart only, and allowing the ego to simply hover in the background, like like an old, when they used to wash the clothes on the washboards with a piece of soap. So they don't use that anymore, right? Because we've got all these newfangled washing machines. So your ego's hovering back there like this unused object that you once used to use a lot, or humanity used to once use a lot, but now is defunct. And you're moving into a new operating mechanism, which is beyond the ego, devoid of ego, no ego necessary. So you'll be able to go in all the stores where it says no ego necessary. Right. Okay, that's it. Lots of love, and I will see you. And here we are circling again. See you next month.